All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. Getting a chance to talk about a few things that came out earlier today. So appreciate you guys all being a part of the show. This is when you know we're getting a little bit closer to the season starting. Got the schedule release that came out for all the teams today, including the Lakers. I got a couple of breakdowns. A couple people did it. Lakers Nation, Yahoo, Bleacher Report. A few of these news websites did a good job of kind of breaking down some of the highlights, how many back-to-back games. I thought Bleacher Report giving and predicting a win total for the Lakers. We're going to have a little bit of fun with that. So got a few things that I want to get into, and I certainly think that it'll be fun to kind of go through some of the key matchups and some of the challenges that the Lakers are going to have this upcoming season. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. If you could please subscribe to the channel, literally just takes a couple of seconds, but it is so helpful to the channel as I continue to try to grow. This is my own personal channel. Yes, I do a lot of stuff, obviously, on radio and everything else, but YouTube's very, very important to me. It's a very important channel to me, so I'd appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, let's get right into it. So the details of the schedule, we definitely just got a full idea. Even right now, if you go on ESPN.com, you were kind of waiting for this. You were waiting for when's the schedule release coming? In the last couple of days, this is the way they always do it. First, they release opening night, which we know is going to be the Denver Nuggets. It started leaking when they were going to play the Clippers in their first matchup, when they were going to play the Phoenix Suns in their first matchup, which I'll get into some of that stuff. Christmas, we obviously already know it's going to be the Boston Celtics. So we started getting they released the in-season tournament, the NBA Cup, whatever you want to call it. They released that a few days ago. I want to say Tuesday, maybe, something like that. So they've been slowly leaking out the schedule. Now we got the whole thing. I'll just tell you, right out the gate, the teams that I'm most looking forward to watch against the Lakers, clearly opening night against the Denver Nuggets. Great. Fantastic. That's the class of the NBA right now. Give the Nuggets all the credit in the world. Aren't you a little excited to see the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets and see how that matchup goes? The Nuggets are going to be getting their rings. Lakers will have to sit there and watch it. Maybe they watch it. Maybe they go in the back, whatever happens. I know it's different for some of these other teams out there, but well-deserved Denver Nuggets. Opening night, right out the gate, they're getting their championship rings. I'm excited to see the Lakers play Denver. Some other matchups that I think are definitely going to be, you must circle it, and you have a curiosity of how the Lakers will match up against some of these certain teams. You don't have to wait very long. Their first three games, how about this? You go Denver, and then you're playing the Phoenix Suns. You're hosting the Phoenix Suns. So you get Kevin Durant, you get Bradley Beal, you get Devin Booker, you get former Lakers head coach Frank Vogel, you get DeAndre Ayton. I think the Phoenix Suns are going to be a formidable opponent. I think they're going to be a really, really tough opponent. And, we'll obviously find out once the season starts. But you start out against Denver, then you get the Phoenix Suns, and then right after that on a Sunday, you get the Sacramento Kings, who had the third best record in the Western Conference. I think really turned some heads this past year. So just right before you even know it, Lakers are going to have some really tough matchups right out the gate, and I think it's going to be fun. Some other teams I'm looking forward to playing that are obviously part of the schedule. Of course, you play every team in the NBA. They got the Clippers on November 1st. I saw somebody, put this out there, which is true. I almost kind of forgot about it. Somebody said it's going to be the last hallway series between the two franchises. I didn't even pay attention to that, to be honest with you, but it's true. This is going to be the final year where the Lakers and the Clippers share an arena together. Next year, it's predicted, it was Yahoo that put that out there, that last year of the hallway series, and I just didn't really put the two pieces together, but next year they're going to be in Inglewood. So they're going to have their own stadium, and Steve Ballmer is investing whatever he has to invest to kind of give the Clippers their own identity in LA. But their first game against each other is going to be just a few games in, November 1st. They'll play them again in January 23rd, or January 7th, January 23rd, and February 28th. So right out the gate, I think that's going to be a fun matchup if you're looking at that schedule, always the Lakers and the Clippers. So the first 5 games for the Lakers, 4 out of the 5 are against legit Western Conference teams: Denver, Phoenix, Sacramento, and the Clippers. Really, really weird. In the first 6 games of the season, Lakers already play Orlando twice, so you can get that one out of the way. Some other matchups or some other teams that I'm looking forward to the Lakers playing, just throwing a couple teams out there. I want to see the Memphis Grizzlies this year with Marcus Smart, probably a little bit later in the season just because Ja Morant, what's he going to miss? The first 25 games, I think it is. So we'll get a chance to see Ja Morant or we'll get a chance to see Marcus Smart, eventually the Memphis Grizzlies as well. I know there's not that many people looking too forward to this matchup, but I could give you a storyline to it. November 19th, they got the Houston Rockets. Well, why do I care about the Houston Rockets? I don't really care, but Dillon Brooks is on that team. And we know the last time the Lakers faced Dillon Brooks and the Grizzlies, just how awful that went for Dillon Brooks. It didn't affect his payday. He still went out and I think he got $80 million from Houston. So that's one date to keep in mind. Couple other games that I think will be fun. November 22nd, you get Dallas, Kyrie, and Luka. I'm going to go further down on that list. The first time the Lakers will play the San Antonio Spurs. They're going to play them 2 games in a row, both in San Antonio, December 13th and 15th. Why is that significant? I don't think I really have to tell anybody about this. Victor Wembanyama, let's see where he is at that point. Let's see how's he doing, how's he looking in the league, how his impact for the San Antonio Spurs. I think that's an interesting matchup as well. And then, you could go down the list, whether I think I got a lot of curiosity on the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. I think there's some teams in the Eastern Conference that will be interesting. Obviously the big 3, Milwaukee, Boston, and I think I'm supposed to put Philly as part of that top 3, but who knows? Maybe I should be putting Miami in there. And we'll see if Damian Lillard is a part of that franchise or not. So as you look at the schedule, I know Lakers got a game on December 31st, obviously New Year's Eve. They're going up against the Pelicans. But overall, when you look at the schedule, when's the first game? Let me actually see. The first game against the Warriors, I think, will be interesting as well. I think that's a little bit further down the schedule. I think they got them crunched up where they play a ton of games against each other over a short window. They don't face the Golden State Warriors. It looks like, at least according to the schedule that I'm looking at, looks like they don't have them until January 27th. So they're going to play them 4 times after January 27th. So something to keep in mind there. That's Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, obviously that entire squad right there. Lakers do have 40, I repeat, 40 nationally televised games. And national games, basically, it's on ESPN, it's on TNT, or it's on NBA TV. So that's kind of always where the Lakers usually land. They're somewhere around that number. So Lakers going to have 40. And that number could go up. Good breakdown, by the way, on Yahoo Sports here. That number could go up based on what happens with the in-season tournament. The schedule's all wacky, too. If you go look at it, the way it's kind of highlighted here, there is, and I actually did not know this as part of this in-season tournament. I thought the in-season tournament was just 4 consecutive games that were part of the in-season tournament. It's not. It's, you got one of the games is you started off against Phoenix November 10th, but then you play a game on that Sunday against the Blazers that's not part of the in-season tournament. Then you play a game against the Grizzlies that is. Then a game against the Kings that's not. Game against the Blazers that is. And then 2 more games after that. So they're only putting 80 games on the schedule right now, and based on how the Lakers do in the play-in tournament, they'll determine who they're going to face after that. 22 teams after the in-season tournament, or at least after it sounds like this group play, will go home and just play their regular schedule. And for the Lakers, depending on how they do, they'll have to determine what those other matchups are, and they're still going to book 2 more games on the schedule. So a little bit confusing, but I think for all of us, once we get through this one time, once we kind of walk through what the heck this in-season tournament is, I think we'll all obviously have a better idea of it. The one thing that I think is a little bit concerning, so you got the 40 nationally televised games. We kind of know what the in-season tournament, we know what that is. The one concern I have with the Lakers, this isn't the best thing in the world. They got 15 back-to-back games on their schedule. Now, I guess that's just kind of the NBA in general. I think the league average is 14, so I guess it's not that much different than everybody else. But maybe this should be less of a concern because you got so many players now that are much younger than LeBron James and even younger than Anthony Davis, that the roster is not built with just all these older players where it truly, truly affects them. But it's certainly going to affect LeBron and Anthony Davis. I mean, we've seen AD, how cautious the Lakers have been with him when it comes to back-to-backs and everything else that comes with it. But for the Lakers, they'll have 15 back-to-backs. How much that has an effect, we'll have to wait and find out. As I mentioned, 82 games for the Lakers. 80 of them right now are scheduled. 40 of them are going to be nationally televised, and they can potentially get some more nationally televised games. I guess just completely 100% based on how they do in this in-season tournament. Okay, couple other things that I wanted to point out here. Let me try to find this. So there is this schedule rating, I guess is what they call it, and kind of a little confusing. You know, everybody's eventually playing the same teams, but I guess it all just depends on how the schedule lays out. I'm going to read something off here from Yahoo Sports in one of their articles. The Lakers, by the time they reach season's end, they'll have been challenged by a slate ranked as the NBA's fourth hardest by Positive Residual, a site that analyzes schedules. So I guess according to this Positive Residual site that analyzes every team's schedule, the Lakers have the fourth hardest. And I think a lot of that has to do when you play certain teams, how many back-to-backs you have, when you play another team, what's the quality of that team in the second game of a back-to-back. So I'm sure there's a lot of theories that go behind it, but it sounds like the fourth hardest by Positive Residual. Okay. That just makes me think there's people that are a lot smarter than me when it comes to all this stuff. You know, something cool. Lakers.com put this out. I thought it was actually it's the Lakers on Twitter, and it says schedules here, and it's kind of almost an art piece. It's just a drawing, I guess you can call it. And again, on Twitter, on the Lakers Twitter account. It's actually really cool. It's got LeBron in the center, Anthony Davis to his left, and look at Austin Reeves making it on that schedule as well. And it's got, you know, some of these certain matchups. It's got a plane in the background and a lot of them, and it just kind of goes through these awesome drawings. And it's kind of showing, all right, hey, November 10th at Phoenix, got a cactus looking out the airport or looking out the airplane. In Miami, you could tell it's South Beach. They're going to be there November 6th, and just kind of goes through the whole thing. It's got the Golden Gate Bridge in the background for the game against January 27th. It's D'Angelo, Rui, and Austin Reeves. Really cool. I like what the Lakers did in that. I think it looks awesome, and certainly you could tell it's getting a lot of love. Okay, so that's kind of a breakdown of the Lakers schedule. And now what I want to do is predict a win total here. And this isn't necessarily my prediction. Bleacher Report has the odds. This is per FanDuel, so keep that in mind. The championship odds for the Los Angeles Lakers are plus 1,500. So to explain that, basically it means you're going to bet $100, and if the Lakers win an NBA championship, you gain $1,500 back. That actually sounds like a very sounds like a good bet, a value bet. Now, I know a lot's got to go the Lakers' way. I know it's going to be a tough season, but I don't think it's a stretch to think, hey, if Lakers won an NBA championship, it's not like you're saying the Thunder won a championship. It's not like you're saying the Chicago Bulls won a championship, or think of other teams out there that you imagine are going to be around that 500 mark or something along those lines. Maybe Thunder, not a good example, because they got a really young team, but obviously not going to win a championship. But the championship odds, according to FanDuel, is plus 1,500. Bet $100 to win $1,500 total. So that's what FanDuel has on the Lakers. Now, as far as win totals, I want to just point out here what they have here as far as like the season forecast for the Lakers. The record prediction for the Lakers in the 2023-2024 season is as followed, according to Bleacher Report. The record prediction is 50-32. 50-32. 18 games above 500. And I will say this. I actually don't think that's that much of a stretch. I really don't. I don't think that's crazy. Think about how the Lakers finished the season last year. Now, their overall record, Lakers ended up 43-39, but I remember they won 8 of their last 10 games to end the season. I remember they had, if not the best record since the All-Star break or since the trade deadline, pretty damn close to it. One of those. I might be off on one of them, but I know they were pretty close to it. I know that once D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, Mo Bamba, once all those trades went down, and it's not even that they used all those players, and once other guys went out, it changed the entire scope of the team. They win 4-2 against Memphis. They win 4-2 against the Golden State Warriors. And then the Denver Nuggets, it didn't seem like a team that was – it didn't seem like they were bad enough to get swept against Denver. Definitely Denver was better than the Lakers, but a lot of close games as well. It's not like Lakers were getting blown out every night or something along those lines. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Denver. Give Denver all the credit in the world. But we weren't watching every game and saying, yep, that's another 25-point loss. Yep, that's another 18-point loss. Yep, the Lakers have no chance in each one of these games. That's not how those games played out. The fact that they're saying, hey, if we're going to make a prediction on how many wins the Lakers will have this year, 50 doesn't sound crazy to me. It doesn't. And if you go look at the NBA standings and you go look at what 50 wins in the Western Conference got you last season, and it's not apples to apples. You never know what happens. Hell, maybe the Sacramento Kings win 53 games this year. Maybe the Phoenix Suns win 55. Denver still does what they do. So it's not apples to apples. But I'm just going to take, if they win 50 this upcoming season, and you put, you took that and put it into last year's standings, Lakers would have the third best record in the Western Conference. If you guys remember last year, Denver won 53, Memphis won 51, Sacramento won 48. Sacramento had the third best record in the Western Conference. Not only do I not think 50 is unrealistic, I think it's very doable. Of course, you need some stuff to go your way. The chemistry, availability, health, you need a lot of stuff to go your way. But 50 is not a crazy number to me. And 50 wins gets you the third best record in the Western Conference. And I don't think any Laker fan, if you said you could sign up for that, they're signing up for it. The other part of this as well that I think it's, something to keep in mind. Imagine the Lakers last year when they were in the process of just trying to make the playoffs, that final push where every single game was so important, where every single game was so critical, where every single game you were jumping from 11th and you won 3 in a row. Now you're 10th. I'm sorry. You're going from like 12th to like 9th or whatever it was. There was so much movement at the bottom that by the time, I think one of the biggest concerns I had with the Lakers by the time the playoffs started, in my head, I'm like, these guys are gassed. I mean, how the hell are they going to – the run they made, and then they had to play in the play-in tournament and obviously go to that overtime game against Minnesota. But the thing that saved them, at least gave them a second to take a deep breath, I want to say they played that play-in game on a Tuesday, and they win in OT. I don't think they started the series against Memphis until Sunday. So they finally had a stretch where they could take a deep breath. Well, if you're winning 50 games this year and you're putting yourself in a position where you're a top 4 seed in the Western Conference, now you don't have to, use all that gas just to get the season done and just before the playoffs even start. It can really put the Lakers in a position that I think is so critical and so crucial for them. I think it would really put them in a position where by the time the playoffs start, they're fresh, they're ready, and they're prepared to go make a run. And oh, by the way, you don't have to start every series on the road the way the Lakers had to do last year. So great stuff from a few of these platforms, like I mentioned, Lakers Nation, Bleacher Report, Yahoo Sports, that broke down the Lakers schedule and some highlights. Again, some of my takeaways are this. Sounds like the fourth toughest schedule in the NBA, 15 back-to-backs. I pointed out all the teams that I'm looking forward to watching the Lakers against. I want to see them against Denver. I want to see them against Phoenix, Golden State, the Clippers. I want to see Victor Wembanyama this year and see what he's all about with the San Antonio Spurs. Even some of these other teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, you know, some of these other teams that are kind of up and coming, I'm curious to see how the Lakers do against. But take all that. Take the prediction of what Bleacher Report has them as far as 50 wins this upcoming year. Gets me excited about this upcoming season. So, Laker fans, that's the best breakdown that I could probably give. If you got any thoughts on anything that I brought up, feel free to put it on the comments below. Thank you for being a part of the show today. Please subscribe to the channel, and really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to the video. Thanks, Laker fans.